Hello, Elise editing here. This is my second video about my 13 years stuck in crime and fraud still ongoing. As you know, in the first case, I was for 2 years intimidated and, so to speak, police letter blackmailed, that is to say, made to believe in an offence that later disappeared after I'd lost my house, 50,000 on the house, and my job. In the second fraud, I was wrongfully intimidated onto the street, which marked the start of a power of attorney fraud, abuse of my mother, and then inheritance fraud. The inheritance fraud has ended up in court with me on my own, no lawyer, no witnesses, no personal support unit, me up against a judge and solicitors, all on my own. My claim against one of the solicitors working the fraud has been kicked out. I'll get to this. I have got Lloyd's bank statement proof of the fraud, etc. The proof was sent to Salford Money Court, who sent it down to Exeter Court and the judge. This particular video is about personal support units in court and what has happened to me with Exeter Personal Support Unit. Personal support units are a charity for those who cannot afford lawyers in court. Rather like food banks for those who can't afford food, the government is putting them forward as the means by which people can get access to justice. Now, we can't get legal aid due to government cuts to legal aid. But as you will see, as with food banks running short and food deserts developing, the personal support unit system just does not work as a substitute for legal aid. I've tried to get legal aid several times. Since my case also involved making complaints about police and government workers, I was told I would be ineligible for legal aid by legal aid itself. I was told by Salford Money Court to go to Exeter PSU. This is what the PSU charity blurb states on its website, www.thepsu.org. It costs under £20 to support someone going through court on their own. Donate now. What we do. Every year, thousands of people find themselves facing the battle of their life in court, alone and without help. They have to represent themselves in cases of divorce, contact with children, or eviction from their homes. Under distressing circumstances, they must navigate a complex legal system, often against professional representation on the other side. In times of austerity, the reduced availability of legal aid has meant that thousands more people face the civil and family courts alone. Their access to justice is at risk as they feel overwhelmed and struggle to represent themselves effectively in court. We, the PSU, are the only charity helping people in court on a daily basis. Over 700 trained volunteers provide a free service across the country. We provide comfort, support and guidance before, during and after court. We ensure people facing court alone feel prepared and supported to access justice. So this is what donators and the public at large are led to believe about the PSU. But after one meeting with the PSU and telling them about my case, they said, "You need a lawyer in this case, it's too complicated," and then they gave me no support at all. They did not look at any of my evidence. So this is the flyer I was given about the PSU Exeter. This has already been through my Elise editing Twitter. This is what it says. Are you facing court without a lawyer? PSU can help you with family and civil cases. We help with issues such as contact with children, divorce, money claims and eviction. PSU is a charity and our service is free. PSU volunteers can listen to you and help you talk through your case, provide useful information, discuss your range of options, help you fill in court forms, show you a courtroom and help you prepare for hearings, go into court with you and take notes. So did I get any of this? No. Also on the flyer, it then says, please note that we cannot give legal advice. Well, that is true. So, did they support me to get access to justice at all? No. So now I have to appeal because I have not received any of my £80,000 inheritance money. I am trustee for my mentally ill brother, who is in long-term state paid-for care, who is also due to inherit money. In the meantime, the judge has ruled that I have to pay one of the solicitors I used to fight the fraud. I was due to pay £50 a month due to low earnings. The solicitor would not, over several months, give me the interest rate she was charging, although I kept asking for it. The judge wouldn't either. The judge has also authorised her to take a charge over my house. She's trying to get £9,600 out of me, having done actually no usable legal work on the case to stop the fraud. The other solicitor I used has tried to get £27,000 out of me. Meanwhile, the solicitor on the other side of the case, so through whom I'm supposed to get my inheritance money, is protecting my siblings' fraud and is refusing to pay out any money. So today I have to try to appeal with no lawyer. And I have a whole set of appeal forms. There have been in total lawyers from 7 different law firms acting in this power of attorney and inheritance fraud. This is just some of the papers on the forms I'm supposed to fill in that I don't know how to fill in. Okay, so there have been in total lawyers from 7 different law firms acting in this power of attorney and inheritance fraud. 2 solicitors I tried to solve and stop the fraud in the probate. 1 solicitor that was originally my solicitor, I told about the first fraud that happened to me when I first came to Devon. They ended up merging with a company and starting to act for my brother and sister, doing property transactions with my mother's money. So they effectively swapped sides, knowing about the fraud, the first fraud that happened to me. A further 4 solicitors acted for my siblings as they worked the power of attorney and inheritance fraud. In addition, as I've said, my mother suffered abuses while the fraud was going on that none of the lawyers were interested in, including safeguarding level injury at a care home where my mother died of septicemia. In addition, state workers, police, MPs, etc. have done wrong things on this case. How do I even begin to know how to fill the forms in or to stop the fraud? The criminal justice system is broken in the UK. Keep following my case while I tell you more, including how my siblings used a different solicitor to fake I lacked mental capacity to be power of attorney, to get power of attorney away from me at a time when I didn't lack mental capacity, and here's why. My mother was simultaneously making a new will with the original solicitor, with me still as executor and trustee for my mentally ill brother. That's the first point. 2, I was working in customer complaints, refunds and exchanges at my local Tesco. 3, I also didn't lack mental capacity because I had already been offered a job back as a journalist following an interview. 4, I had bought another house for myself on my own. As I say, the legal system is broken and needs immediate overhaul. There are many facets to this. Twitter people such as Chris Dorr QC, who's at Crimlaw UK, and Peter Stefanovich at Peter Stefanovi2 will also give you insight. And you can follow my real life fraud case at my Elise editing Twitter. That's Elise _editing Twitter. See you in the next video.